What is up, everybody? I wanted to share with you my latest favorite build for running through Lincoln Memorial. It probably works on other missions. It's definitely not the best build for all around content, but for fast missions with spawn closets, it's amazing. My gun's a little bit weird right now. It's got my pistol laser on it and my pistol suppressor on it, but hey, that's kind of weird. The basis of it, I use this gun. There's a lot of shotguns that work with this build, so don't think that just because I have the Enforcer, which is the pay-to-win gun from pre-ordering WONY, that this build won't work. I've tried it with all sorts of shotguns, and it works with basically all of them. But this is my favorite. Whether I'm running in a solo or even I've ran this really, really quickly with 2 or 3 people, just running support builds and me the only one doing damage. And it also works really, really good. But the Enforcer, it has perfect pummel, 2 consecutive kills, refill the magazine, and grants 40% weapon damage for 10 seconds. This gun itself has really bad rolls, and it always rolls the same. It's missing the bottom core attribute. But it's still really, really effective. The other gun that can work is the named Tsunami, also perfect pummel. When you reload it from not empty, it'll have 8 rounds in the magazine with a very fast reload, and it also gets that damage to targets out of cover on it. I still don't have a really good Tsunami, but as you can see, its damage is a bit lower, a little bit more than 10% less. And even with the damage to targets out of cover, the Enforcer still hits harder for me, but it might just be because I still don't have a triple god roll Tsunami. Another one that works, if you want a harder hitting shotgun, is the KSG shotgun. It has regular pummel, which is still 40% weapon damage when it reloads you, but you got to get 3 kills. The consecutive kills don't have to be really quickly. I don't even know if there's a time limit, but it's definitely a pretty wide gap that you can get these kills to get the automatic reload. The 870 doesn't really work very well because it only has 5 rounds. So I tend to not really enjoy using it. You don't have very many options for either missing shots or having to double tap some of the armored targets. And then you can also get away with using a Pummel Spaz 12. This one's just a random shotgun I picked up, but the Spaz 12 only has 1 mod slot, so it's not that great. It does have 8 rounds, and it does hit really hard, but it's up to you. I find either the Tsunami, the Enforcer, or since the Enforcer is an M870, you can just get an M870 that has regular pummel, and that also works very well. I think I've got, or not an M870, sorry, Super 90, like this one here. Got the damage to targets out of cover, good rolls. This also works really good. So all of these work, and it's really up to you what you like. Someone's telling me it's 15 seconds in between kills for pummel to work. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your shotguns. As far as the build goes, currently I run 2-piece Walker and Harris, and there is a better perfect best in slot for this build, but it's so incredibly difficult to get that I don't think it's really worth going for unless you have real long-term goals. I run the Coyote Mask up close. This is my only crit chance mod in my gear. I do put the 6 crit chance mod in here. That puts me up to 59.2 crit chance with the build. But Coyote Mask gives you, that crit damage when you're up close. And all my damage is within 15 meters, so I'm always getting that extra 25 crit damage. Great choice. As far as backpack, your choices are either Bloodsucker or Adrenaline Rush. Both are good, and it just depends. If you're playing in a group when other people are killing stuff, Adrenaline Rush is awesome. But if you're playing in solo or you're playing with people like, support buffing your damage, which you can get buffed extremely high with this build, I like Bloodsucker. You kill an enemy, you get a stack of bonus armor, and it lasts 10 seconds. Works great. And Adrenaline Rush, you just get near an enemy, and you gain bonus armor for 5 seconds. You can get a ton of bonus armor. My chest piece is also another piece of Walker to match with the backpack. 2-piece bonus, not boner, giving 5% weapon damage and 5% damage to armor. Intimidate is the talent that you want to go for there. It's while you have bonus armor amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. This is really, really strong. This is huge damage, and it's great. So, you know, these ones I also spec'd with crit damage in the mod slots. Gloves, I'm running contractor gloves for that bonus damage to armor. Also rolled with crit damage. I know LMG doesn't really work here, but the bonus damage to armor works really good. And Fox Prayer knee pads, same story. The 8% damage to targets out of cover works really good, even though I'm not running rifles. And then the other thing that I use is a piece of Seska. And the Seska gives 10 crit chance, bringing my crit chance up to nearly 60%. And it's really nice. The other option here that would be a little bit better than this walker, which is very hard to get, is a piece of Badger Tough. Everyone always asks me, why don't you wear Badger Tough? Because Badger Tough has, 10% shotgun damage. The thing is when you have as much total weapon damage or base weapon damage increases that we already have. If you look here, we've got, 101.1% all weapon and 23% shotgun. So that's almost 125% bonus weapon damage. That's all to the base. So adding 10% more to that doesn't increase it that much. In this build, I only get about 4.5% damage increase from adding 10% more, which is still some. But here's the thing. To add Badger, it rolls red mod slot. So you would need to have a backpack or chest roll the talent, both attributes, and then roll the blue core that it does to red. And that's tough. I don't have a piece of Badger like that. And then, in order to pull that off, the next best in slot piece is not going to be Walker and Harris, having, 5% weapon damage. That's not very good. I think the next best in slot would either be Seska, one piece, or Grupo one piece. So it'd be a Badger, Seska, Grupo combo. But the problem with Seska and Grupo, backpacks and chests, and Badger, is you have to get the talents and attributes perfect, because on Grupo and Seska, you got to roll the mod slot red, and on Badger, you got to roll the core red. So good luck with that, and at best, you're only going to be gaining a tiny bit more damage. And a lot of people are like, why do you run Seska instead of Badger and just add more crit mods? It's just not worth it, because Seska is adding 2 crit damage mods worth of crit chance, and that's like 24 crit damage right there. And I would rather have 24 crit damage than 4.5% more damage, personally. But it's up to you. You could run it and sacrifice the crit mods for crit chance mods or the crit damage mods. And there you go. Now, I do run a Grudge, Perfect Vindictive. I rarely use it, but you can use it to, shoot fire barrels and then, kill an enemy with it. And then you'll have even more crit damage if you really feel like it. Not necessary. I got the new Regulus. I'm not a big fan of it, but as far as the specialization goes, I choose either Gunner or Firestarter. Gunner is great for the armor on kill if you're having issues staying alive or you're new to the build, but Firestarter gives you the shield that gives insane amounts of damage per enemy in front of the shield. Every enemy is 10% multiplicative damage in front of the shield, and anyone behind the shield also gets that buff. So when, the enemies spawn and there's 5 of them in front of you, you're gaining 50% multiplicative damage. It can really cause your damage to skyrocket. And when you're using a gun like the Enforcer that's kind of shitty as far as its, rolls and damage, it makes a really big difference. But if I wasn't running Gunner or Firestarter, I'd be running Gunner just for the armor on kill and use the regular shield. And as far as your other skill goes, it's up to you. I prefer the assault drone or the striker drone. It's a good distraction for the NPCs that might, try to flank you or get away. And I enjoy it, but you could always run a reviver hive so that you don't wipe if you die and you're playing solo. But that's really up to you. This build's really the only thing that I use to farm Lincoln now. And I farm Lincoln a lot. Today's shotgun, so it's a great day if you're trying to get shotguns. But I'll demonstrate the build. Hopefully it does good. If not, I'm totally going to cut this out and re-record some good gameplay. Just kidding. But yeah, probably. All right. Hopefully this one goes good. This is my most common mission that I farm here. I rarely really farm anything else other than this. This is like the dyno to testing out new builds. Like, how well does it work on this? But the only thing is, a build that works good in this mission doesn't necessarily work good in other missions. This build here is really just, you know, tuned for a mission like this. And it works good solo in a group, whether or not they're shooting things or if they're just buffing you. It seems to work well with all of them. However, I did try this build in a control point 4, and you're not going to have a good time. You got to be way too careful. Your shield dies way too easily. So I don't think you'll like it for an overall build, but I know a lot of people farm this mission, and this is a great... Whoa. Somehow I did not get enough kills there to reload my mag. The bonus armor you see is insane. That's all from Bloodsucker, and it definitely helps a lot. No. I'm late. This is gonna be rough now. I was late to the party. Oh no. Got it. That guy's weak point is probably the hardest point of this entire mission, is hitting his weak point. You'll notice with this build that shooting weak points is not... Whoa! That is sick. Hello, please. Wow. That's some good streamer loot RNG right there. Let's look at that again. Triple god roll, double barrel shotgun with all the attributes that I would want. I could roll that to whatever I want. Easy. I love that. Cool. That is pretty awesome right there, man. It's that streamer loot. I think Hamish hit the RNG button for me. Thanks, Hamish. Don't make it too obvious next time. Yeah, that's a great PvP shotgun right there. Sometimes it's best not to have your shield out, especially if you have a bunch of bonus armor and you plan on using the shield at another point. Because a lot of times they'll kill your shield, but you'll have a lot more bonus armor than your shield's health. So keep that in mind. You don't always need your shield up. The more you play with the build, the more you'll realize when you want it, when you don't want it. And it's definitely better to put it away before it breaks and let it recharge. Because even if you have a bunch of bonus armor, if your shield's out, the shield takes the damage, not your bonus armor. So just keep that in mind when you're running with it. You want that shield always up when the spawn closets hit.
Can't afford to let the true sons escape with those. You gotta find a way to close up that tunnel.
Where do you think you're going? When you play this in a group, there is way more ads. This build's actually more fun to play with at least 2 people, if not 3 people. I find. Because there's just so many ads, your damage output's insane. You can just sit there shooting your shotgun forever, usually.
According to the schematics Isaac pulled upstairs, we can lock that tunnel door from the control center. That should keep them from being able to transport those mortars loaded with DC-62.
Uh-oh. What's going on? That was close to bad right there. Well, I saved it. That was an almost wipe there. I did a little bit too little of damage to pretty much every target there instead of killing them.
That should keep them from getting more of those mortars.
These bosses are pretty damn easy. You don't want to break this guy's backpack if you're too close to him because it will electrocute you. And that can be bad. And there we go.
The team from the campus has taken position inside the memorial.
With that triple god roll, pretty happy about that. So that's the build, guys. Let me know what you think of it. And don't forget to hit the follow button. You can also check me out live, Twitch TV/Inigo Montoya. We be running the raids a lot. Whoa, we got another one. Another triple god roll with Strained. Strained is the best attribute or best talent to have on the double barrel, you know. Because like you got to continuously shoot this thing for 2.5 seconds to keep Strained up. And it takes, you know, a fraction of a second empty this mag, so it just pairs so well. I'm glad they included it as an option. I've been looking for that my whole life. But yeah, that's the run, guys, and this is definitely, I think, the best farming mission out there. I'm sure you all, you know how good Lincoln is, how fast it is, how easy it is, and when there's good stuff to farm on it, you know, do it a lot. Good day for shotguns, but probably by the time you see this video, shotguns will not be there anymore. But it's nice to finally have a shotgun build that works, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.